On the night of April 29, 1999, Delhi's elite gathered at a late-night party at Tamarind Court, a stylish restaurant in Mehrauli that often hosted private events for the city's social circle. Among those working behind the bar that night was 34-year-old Jessica Lal, a model, cheerful, well-known in the fashion world, and simply helping out a friend at the party. By 2 a.m., the music had softened, the energy had slowed, and the bar had officially closed. Jessica was cleaning up, preparing to call it a night. But in those next few minutes, everything would change. A small group of young men walked toward the counter. Leading them was a man named Manu Sharma, the son of Haryana politician Vinod Sharma. He was confident, entitled, and by all accounts, used to getting his way. Manu asked Jessica for 2 drinks. She politely told him the bar was closed. He insisted. She refused again. What followed was shocking even by the city's standards. Eyewitnesses recall Manu pulling out a small pistol, a .22 caliber weapon. At first, he fired a shot into the ceiling. Partygoers turned around in confusion, some in fear, others in disbelief. And then, in a moment that still haunts Delhi's collective memory, he raised the gun again, pointed it at Jessica from close range, and fired. Jessica collapsed instantly. Panic spread through the room. People scrambled for exits. Manu and his friends fled before anyone could react. Jessica was rushed to Apollo Hospital, but the damage was devastating. She was declared dead, another victim of power, arrogance, and senseless violence. The tragedy of this case did not end with her death. It was only beginning. The initial police investigation was slow, clumsy, and surrounded by allegations of influence. Witness statements changed. Key evidence was mishandled. Shell casings weren't collected properly. Even the crime scene had been contaminated by the time investigators took control. Many believed powerful individuals were already interfering. For months and then years, Jessica Lal's family, especially her sister, Sabrina Lal, fought a lonely battle for justice. The trial dragged on, witnesses turned hostile, and the prosecution failed to present a strong case. By February 2006, the trial court did something no one expected. It acquitted all the accused, including Manu Sharma. The reaction was explosive. Newspapers called it a failure of justice. Television channels questioned the system, and ordinary citizens felt outraged that money and political influence had defeated the truth. A massive public movement began. At the center of it was a simple plea: justice for Jessica. Thousands gathered at India Gate, lighting candles, marching in silence, demanding accountability. Newsrooms launched campaigns. A sting operation exposed how witnesses had been bribed and intimidated. Public pressure grew so strong that the Delhi High Court took up the case again, this time with new seriousness. In December 2006, the High Court overturned the earlier verdict. After reviewing ballistic reports, eyewitness accounts, and physical evidence, the judges concluded there was no doubt. Manu Sharma had shot Jessica Lal. He was convicted of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. His associates were convicted for destroying evidence and obstructing justice. 4 years later, in 2010, the Supreme Court of India upheld the decision, finally bringing closure to a long and painful legal battle. But even then, the story continued. After spending over 17 years in prison, Manu Sharma was granted early release in 2020 for good behavior. The decision stirred old emotions, disappointment in some, forgiveness in others. Sabrina Lal eventually said she had moved on, but she never stopped believing that the truth had to be fought for. and that justice must be visible, not just written on paper. Today, the Jessica Lal case stands as a landmark moment in India's criminal justice history. It exposed flaws in police procedure, highlighted the danger of witness intimidation, and became one of the first major examples of the power of media activism and public pressure. It forced the system to correct itself and made a nation ask how many other Jessicas never received justice. Jessica Lal went to work that night simply to help a friend and lost her life to ego and entitlement. But her name continues to live on as a symbol of courage, justice, and the power of people who refuse to stay silent.